How much grace does your mother deserve? Because she didn't know certain things.
Frankly, I don't think she deserves any grace.
Why is that?
What's up, Humble Fam? Welcome back to the Humble Pie Podcast. I'm your host, Veach Jones, joined by my big bro, Wallace Dallas, in the building.
And I'm using my new voice today.
Yeah. and we got a repeat offender in the building, y'all. Y'all recognize the face. Miss Ja Casanova in the building.
Hey y'all, I'm back.
She back. She had to run it back so quick, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate you for being in the building.
So do.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Andy.
You know what I'm saying? Share that content. Hey, we took a little break, man. But look, we getting right into it today. I'm not going to waste y'all time. This is a topic that's been heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind, and y'all should want to hear this conversation today. We're going to discuss childhood traumas and the effects they have in our relationships. Everybody been raised differently. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody's situation been different, but as you gotten older, especially my millennials out there, we don't always address how that shit impacts us in life. Mm-hmm. Like, and not saying everybody's childhood experience was traumatic, because some people didn't experience trauma. And I guess we can start there and what exactly is trauma? Like, what do y'all feel trauma is? Because that word is thrown out a lot.
That's a good question.
What is trauma?
Because the thing is, you have to be able to recognize that you even having trauma.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know that you fucked up until you around somebody who ain't fucked up. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I've been doing this wrong all this time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question. What is trauma?
Yeah.
What is, and I think, like you said, it looked different for everybody probably.
Mm-hmm. So what is it to you?
To me, I'm a tough case when it comes to like trauma, because I don't allow things to bother me in that way. So the trauma that I saw on other people, lack of parenting and, the same shit that I had, I just didn't allow it to affect me. But I did see the results of that on like other people. But I don't know. I'm not a good person to ask what the actual how it looks for me, because I
it's subjective.
It's like I step outside of myself and I see it on other people, but I don't even really know how it looks for me.
Are you saying you don't have no trauma?
What other people would consider trauma, yeah, but I don't consider it trauma.
What do you
think? Do you have any type, like forget what they went through? I'm saying, do you have any type of trauma?
I have no parents at this particular point. I grew up without parents. Grandma kind of raised me, but she was working and she raising the whole house. Everybody come to grandma's house. And that in itself could be considered the trauma. I don't do birthdays because I learned early on that they don't matter, because their birthdays came and went. Nobody said, "Hey, happy birthday."
Facts.
I didn't have parties. I didn't get all that other
recognition.
Shit. Though, and these are traumas to other people.
But that, all of a sudden, listen to you, bro. That sounds like something that can. It may not have affected you directly in a way, in the sense of like emotionally, but it did create a mindset of like, all right, this shit not relevant because it wasn't looked at or celebrated in that way. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Ja, what do you feel like trauma is?
I feel like trauma is what it is: traumatic experiences. I feel like everybody kind of lives we've all grown up differently.
Yeah.
And trauma, like you said, it is subjective. It's subjective to how you were raised, what type of parents, environment, household. All that comes into play when you kind of, have to assess your life as you grow older. And you're just like, damn, like you said, like, this is normal to somebody, but that's not normal to me. And I think the importance of it is like, what I'm learning right now is really accountability and being real with myself and being like, you know what? This did affect you. That's why I asked you. I'm like, well, what type of trauma do you have? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I feel like everybody carries some type of trauma, but some of us brush stuff under the rug and some of us don't. And I'm not saying you do, but I'm just saying, like, no one wants to deal with trauma. Like, you don't want to deal with that shit. You just don't. Like, it's very, very hard to actually deal with that and be like, you know what? damn, this really did happen to me. As ugly and nasty and rude and gross as it sounds, it happened to me. And I feel like a lot of us kind of sweep. One thing about me is like I've had amnesia to a lot of shit in my life, and I try to forget a lot of things that has happened to my life for the sake of I have kids, for the sake of myself. But I feel like as I'm older now and I'm getting closer to being 40, it's like, girl, be fucking for real. Like, if you don't handle this right now, it has affected a lot of things that I've been through. And I even seen it, little things have affected, with my kids, and I had to step back and be like, oh shit, you doing what your mama did. And that shit is that's like literally the scariest part, when you disliked someone so much for a lot of things that they did, and you catch yourself not become, because I will never allow myself to do that, but you catch yourself possibly, you know what I'm saying, being in a moment of like, this is how I was raised, this is what I knew, and not understand that I could change this fucking narrative.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I could really change this narrative if I could be the one that breaks this up if I truly want to. But that shit is a lot of work.
You gotta do the work. So my take on trauma, it is things we've been through that we want to suppress and forget, and that creates the actual trauma, the avoidance of it. Like going through something, especially in black households, just like Wallace said, like you grew up in a household where everybody knew everybody, and as a young man, you told not to cry, you told not to be emotional, you told to toughen up and all these things when you just expressing yourself. So I can second what Wallace said in regards to like celebrating your birthdays and shit like that. So on the flip side of his, because I don't remember having a happy birthday to you and a cake and all that shit. So when I became an adult, I made sure, and I was very intentional about celebrating my life. You know what I'm saying? And celebrating, where I have arrived to. Because I was thinking, I'm like, damn, man, I was 12, 13 years old taking a bus from one side of town to the other with no cell phone. Like, that ain't okay.
Right.
Like, what the fuck was my parents? You know what I'm saying? Well,
I feel like that was a lifestyle.
Right, but listen, so just stay with me. So y'all not wrong. I'm not saying it was, but it created a certain independence in me, right? And then it created a certain selfishness in me, and like I could do things by myself. So like that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how our traumas, or what we identify as things that we struggled with now as an adult, as things we went through as a child and that we now struggle with as an adult, affects our relationships, whether it's like having a companion or business relationships, work relationships and shit like that. It all plays a part. You know what I'm saying? And I think I really want to just pick y'all brain on how y'all going through it, because I could tell y'all like the shit that I've been through and how it like has postured me here, has landed me here, and I could be proud of myself. But it took some self-evaluation, some like real like being very self-aware, like I'm like this because of something I went through, but I don't have to stay like that because of what I went through too. Right. I don't want to make an excuse because, my old man wasn't around when I was a shorty, so now I'm not going to be around my kids. No, on the flip side of that, what we done is I want to be intentional about raising my children. I want to be intentional about being in their life because I know how that feels not to have that. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, with your parents wasn't around, and it caused you to move how you move, you know what I'm saying? So like those experiences that you go through as a kid, it molds you into the adult you can be, because to become the person you want to be, you first have to unlearn how you was raised. Yeah.
And that's hard.
I think that's like where we at right now in adulthood, like you said, approaching 40, like myself as well. I'll be 39 next year. It's like, wow, I'm finna be 40, like, and I still got a lot to learn, a long ways to go. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to be like gentle with ourselves too in that matter. Like, don't be so fucking hard on yourself, because based on how you was brought up, you still like on 10 toes. Yeah. You ain't in no mental institution. You feel me? You ain't strung out. You ain't no alcoholic. Like, all that shit matters.
You really got to give yourself up sometimes. Sometimes you really got to like look yourself. I'm very big on looking at myself in the mirror and being like, bitch, I'm proud of you.
Right.
Like, I am very proud of you, because I didn't live in, I hope I'm, this episode, because this episode is like, it's very deep to me, because my mom is very sensitive about my past, and she also has amnesia about a lot of shit that she's done, like a lot of mothers have, where they forget about what they did and how they put you through. And it's like it never happened. It's like, well, I don't know, because I feel like it did.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm affected by it a lot, so something happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's very important. This is something that I've learned myself. I grew up, my mother is Cuban. My dad is Jamaican. My dad went to jail when I was very young. And, you know, right after that, my mom ended up with my stepdad, that they were together for a very, very, very long time. And, you know, I love him. He did the best that he can do. When I was about 15 years old, they divorced. And my mom fucking lost it. Like, she lost everything. She lost everything. But in that moment of hers, and this is something that I feel is so big. Like, she didn't put herself first. And she kind of like was so on me and my brother that it's like, I think she regretted a lot of that instead of like putting herself first.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I look at her and I've had to like internally like forgive her and just be like, you didn't do what was best for you. So now you looking at me and the way I live and how I'm looking good and how I go out and I look sexy and I do this, and it bothers you because you didn't do that. So it's like when she comes through my line and she's like, you look like a whore today.
Wow.
And I'm just keeping it real. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, let's talk about it.
When she comes through my line and she sends me these text messages and I'm at work on a Monday morning, she tells me how much of a whore, how no man's ever gonna want me online and this and this, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta forgive her. You know why? Because she didn't get to do that. She didn't get to be herself.
But it's not. She has no right to do that to you, though.
She doesn't. But you know what? Though that's just maybe that's just what she learned with my grandmother. And rest in peace to my grandmother. That was my everything. She didn't treat me the way maybe she treated my mama, but I lived a very mentally abusive life, like very mentally abusive. And I think that's why I'm so ambitious. I think that's why I do some of the things I do, because it was like I didn't grow up in a house where my mom was like, you're so fucking creative.
Right.
Like I see that in you. You know what I'm saying? Or you should be that instead of be this. Like, you are so, like, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with, you know, I was a virgin, my mom telling me I was a whore. And I'm like, Mom, I'm the only one out of my friends that didn't have sex yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I had a baby at 18. And the reason why I had a child at 18 was because I was running away from my mom. I didn't want no fucking kids. I really didn't. I had my brother. I was taking care of my brother. My brother's 10 years younger than me. So I always took care of, like, my brother. So it was like, I didn't want no kids. But, and this is, I'm just speaking my truth.
Speak it.
My mom was just dogging me so bad. I'm not an argumentative person. So the only thing I could do was run away. And I ran to a man who, his family loved me. He loved me. His brothers, his sister, was like a home. Like, oh my God, these people actually see me. And I was there all the time. What happens when you young, horny, you get pregnant?
Yeah.
And, you know, I tried to get an abortion. He basically put his hands on me like, you're not having no fucking abortion shit. And that was it. And after that, my mama just, I got stuck right there at 18 with her. That's where it all ended to her. It was like, that was it. That's her moment, is like me at 18. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's stuck there. Like, why'd you have a baby at 18? Mom, I'm grown. My oldest daughter is 19. Who gives a fuck? Let's get over that. I'm grown.
Yeah.
How did that, what
That's
did
bad.
that affect? I'm great. I'm doing great.
Right.
I don't ask you for shit. My kids are great. Like, what's the problem? But what I'm trying to say is, like, you really have to forgive sometimes, because she don't know no better. She don't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning to forgive her and also forgive myself for even, you know, forgive myself for a lot of things that I did do when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Things that I did do that probably were not my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't. And you got to kind of just look at yourself and be like, you know what? It's okay. It wasn't your fault all the time. So
you have to give yourself some grace.
And
thank you for sharing. And I want to tap in on the part that you mentioned. I'm going to let you get in, Wallace. But when you was brought up your grandparents, right, and how they raised your mom, or they was in your mom's life. My dynamic, my mother grew up in a 2-parent household, right? So my thinking is, right, if we just talking about like how we've been brought up as children, if you brought up in a 2-parent household, you never experienced bad parenting.
My mom did.
You know what I'm saying?
She had perfect parents.
Right. You feel me? My grandfather
Might
made.
not have his-
Okay, might not. My grandfather, far as I knew, when I knew him, may he rest in peace, was a working man up until he had a stroke. Worked, took care of my grandma, never had a job. Right? Never seen no crazy shit between him and my grandma. Just was a decent guy. Right? So his offspring, speaking of my mom, how do you then have children and treat them, in so many words, like you rush them to grow up so you can so they're less of a responsibility to you, because none of us asked to be here essentially, right? So you throw essentially me off on my grandparents, your firstborn, because you still living your life, right? So when I hear people talk about like their relationships with their parents, and if a man don't love his mama, he can't love me, that's not necessarily true, y'all. You have to understand,
That's
like.
Right.
You gotta understand, like, love is action. It's not just because you have a child you automatically gonna be loved and cared for in that way. So I had to self-identify with a lot of these things coming up, like, why am I so emotional as a youngster, right? And why in relationships I go so hard early on in my adult life. Like, why am I such a lover? You know what I'm saying? I had to unpack that because of said trauma. It's like, I want to feel loved. You feel what I'm saying? I want that attention, I guess, from a woman in that sense, not in a perverted way with my mom, but I'm saying when you don't grow up with that type of care in your household as a young man, that shit fucks you up in a lot of ways. And what happens with a lot of men, myself included, we chase women. We dive into lust-filled lives because that's how we feel manly. That's how we feel loved. And then what crazy is, like you mentioned, parents now, or our parents who are grandparents, they have this avoidance tactic, or like you said, amnesia to the shit that you did or didn't do. So my platform, this platform, is created for me to have this conversation with my mom that I've never had.
Right.
I don't even have a desire to, because you know what, it's going to be filled with excuses.
Right.
It's going to be filled with excuses. And I'm not in no position to hear excuses. I've arrived to a point in my life that people going to show you exactly how they feel about you. You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask why. People are going to show you how they feel about it. Just watch. Just pay attention. Sometimes we are so gung-ho about being included and loving everybody and being liked by everybody that you giving so much of yourself, you filling everybody's cup. And when it's time to reciprocate that on any level, there's nobody to be found. And then that same group of people, when you saw peep game and fall back, they say, guess what? You acting funny now.
Right.
Because you stop pouring into them, making them feel good about themselves. So what I've learned based on shit like that is that it's okay to start over, build new relationships, have a real relationship, and also on top of that, just because you was born into that family, you can start your own family. I remember Jackie mentioned, she says, create the world that you want. Because there's no sense in lying in a space where it's not reciprocated with love, it's not reciprocated with just general, I give a fuck about you.
Right.
Like, damn, how you doing today, Wall? You can't say we family, you can't say we friends, you don't check on me.
Right.
Phone both work back. You hear that shit all the time. Phone work both ways. For motherfucker who ain't never used their phone.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop making excuses. Cause and that's why I want to pod about this, because I don't think people really like feel like they shit don't stink. Y'all mothers out there of millennials, parents, I was just saying millennials, y'all have created a lot of hurt motherfuckers. Y'all have created the teenagers, y'all created teen parenting, right? Which then trickle down to us, then overcompensating and love bombing our children. And now our children are crippled emotionally because they feel like everything should be instant, right? Because of all the trauma we experienced as kids. So now our kids are being raised in an environment where everything has to happen, where they feel like food is endless, money is endless, fun is endless. Like, this is how our children feel now. And I say our children, I mean everybody, kids.
And I think they're very hypersensitive.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's very hard for people like us who grew up basically like fighting back.
Yeah.
I had to have a conversation with my daughter the other day. She was like, I'm just feeling like depressed. I'm just not feeling myself. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it? She's like, I don't know. I just really, I can't explain it. And I was trying to explain to her, like, I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean when I'm asking you questions like, well, what's the problem? It can't be that big or nothing like that. I'm just telling you, like, you got to fight back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this generation, they don't know how to fight back. That's why there's a lot of suicides. That's why there's a lot of, kids that are just not doing what they should be doing because they don't know how to fight back. Everything to them is just like, oh my God, like, why is this happening to me? Because it's life.
Yeah.
That's fucking right. Fight back.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to. I know we live in this world where everything is like, okay, let's sort out our emotions. Okay, let's light a candle.
Gentle
It's like-
parenting.
it's like that doesn't work when they're in the real world.
No.
It's just not. It's not that. No one's gonna tell you. No one's gonna be like, okay, let's talk this through. That's not how life is gonna be. It's gonna be like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. I just feel like this generation they're just very sensitive, and it's hard for our generation with theirs because we are so strong. Right. We're strong-minded, and we've been through a lot of shit. We're the generation that just kind of merged everything together all in one time. So imagine how fucked we are. Like, we fucked up too.
Go ahead, Wally.
Ask y'all a question because all three of us got a pretty unique situation parenting-wise.
Yeah.
Because we have an issue with the mother. Usually the mother is never the problem. It's
Right.
the father. Like,
Yeah.
For most people.
Yeah.
Now, well, I want to clarify something. Just a disclaimer. My father was around.
Okay.
But he just wasn't
Involved. Okay.
He's just another person in the house. Like
Yeah.
type shit. But anyway, the question that I wanted to ask you, V, starting with you, and you probably can answer this too. You mentioned giving yourself grace in regards to how much grace does your mother deserve? Because she didn't know certain things.
Frankly, I don't think she deserved any grace.
Why is that? How do you deserve grace and she don't?
Because I didn't ask to be here.
Right. But she didn't either.
Okay, well then that's something she got to talk with her mama about.
Right. So, but you don't want to talk to your mama about it.
Not exactly, no.
Right. So why does she have to talk to her mama about it?
That's up to her and her mama,
So
my grandma.
why don't she deserve any grace at all?
And that's a good question. I feel like, well, I will say some people deserve grace, but because you asking about me, and I'm going to be very honest, I just don't feel she does it because there have been opportunities, I would say, to address and to come to the table and have a kumbaya. But when those times have arrived, it's met with like avoidance or like,
I'm the mama.
yeah, or I'm not the problem, or you overly like you just reading too much in it. But see, when you care about your mental health and you've been through the things that I've been through as an adult, because when you do the work and you want to heal from the shit you've been through, you got to find out the stuff that triggered you. You got to start from the root, and that's why I want to start with just the word trauma, like identifying that shit.
Now, from their generation, mental health is not something that's even talked about. It's
No.
not something. Ain't no such thing as therapy.
Nope.
Ain't no such thing as taking some time for yourself to like I was wrong as a parent. I did this wrong or whatever the case may be. None of that. It's the parent is right, and that's that.
Right.
Now, you were blessed to be in a space in a generation to where therapy means something or mental health means something. So you still don't feel like she deserves any kind of grace, and just with even regards to that.
No, I think, and I'm just being very honest, and this is my platform, and like I think it's important to be authentic because I don't have that connection with my mother that, let's just say, that other boy or the other kid down the street grew up with. Like, oh, I love my mom, the best thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I was the worst thing that happened to her.
Right.
So it's like you try or you want to like have that, you miss that. Don't get me wrong, like you miss that, but you arrive to a point at my life at 38. It's like I know I'm not going to. It's not going to come from a health. It's not going to come from like a nice place. It's going to come from a hurt place.
What you mean?
If I was to express how I feel and why. If we had a kumbaya, it's going to be met with excuses, and I don't forgive very easily, if at all, because you didn't have to do that.
Right. So you'd rather hold on to this. So
I don't really feel like I'm holding on to
I
it.
was just want to ask you, are you holding on?
Nah, I feel like having a platform like this and talking about it is my way of living through it. Like I've suppressed it for years, or I've coupled it with women. You know what I'm saying, or just lust in general. Just let's living in that space. Like my flesh matters more than my mind. You feel what I'm saying? Like my physical, and I think a lot of men, we do that. Like we live for pleasure, whether it's sexual pleasure, period. It could be anything. It don't always have to be sexual, but something that's gonna take your mind off how you are feeling.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So for me, nah, bro. Like if I'm being honest, bro. Like I'm really at a point now where it's like, fuck it. Like I don't really care. Like because you didn't have, like I said, man, it's been opportunities, bro. Like even to this day, I ain't talked to my mom in almost 2 years, and my mom lived 10 minutes from me. Like why is that?
Right.
And see, you know what? It's so crazy. It's because like I hear you and you're like, you haven't talked to your mom in 2 years, and I'm literally take all this shit from my mom every day. So when you were talking about grace, I'm like, no, I don't, because every day my mom chooses to wake up in the morning and degrade me to the fucking fullest.
Right.
So no, I won't. She doesn't deserve grace because she doesn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have to wake up and send me text messages. She doesn't have to tell my kids mean things about me. She doesn't have to do these type of things. So no, I don't. But I also it's kind of weird because it's like I can't let her go. You know what I mean? Like
what you mean, like let go, like emotionally?
No, I can't just stop talking to my mom, and it's so I endure so much.
Well, I say you don't need to be subjected to verbal or emotional abuse, though.
I don't. I can easily just block her, but I don't. It's for some reason I pick up the phone and I read everything she says about me, and it's so weird. And it's like every one of my friends are like, "You have to get away from her. You have to get the kids away from her because it's to the point where my kids are like, is she jealous of you?" Like,
so they can see this.
Oh yeah, they see this, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I have such a small family. It's literally no lie. If my mom passed away today and my aunt passed away today, I literally have not a single person in this world other than my mom, other than my kids. I have nobody. My family consists of my grandmother and my aunt, and my brother. But my brother ran away from my mama too.
Right.
Ran away to New York. Haven't seen my brother in years. I talk to him and we talk about our trauma all the time. We talked about like, fuck, we've been through a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like we're so fucked up.
And you want to know what's so fucked up about that? Is that we're not alone. Like this shit was really happening in the 80s and 90s, bro. Like a lot of millennials went through the stuff we talking about. Yeah. To where, like what I was saying, it was almost the norm. To take but I couldn't even see him, bro. My daughter's 16.
That was normal.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm sitting thinking like, bro.
But then when like my kids talk to me about it, cause I don't talk to my kids like that. They're like, Mom, that's not normal. And I'm like, damn, like it ain't, because I would never talk to my kids the way my mom talked to me.
That's crazy.
One time I was talking to my oldest daughter. And I was like, I know, right, bitch? And then, but I was thinking I was talking to my friend. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She said, Mom, it's okay. I'm like, no, like, that's not what I meant. I just thought it was like, I was just thinking, like, I was so excited to tell you the story. And I was thinking about my friends. And then, like, I didn't mean, she's like, Mom, it's not that deep. I'm like, no, because you're not a bitch.
And that reason you had that reaction, even though it's kind of, it's because you care about your child. Yeah. You care about how and what you do affects them. Right. My daughter's 16, right? I don't really care to drink in front of my daughter or smoke hookah in front of my kid.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how people do that.
I just like let them be a kid.
Smoked weed in front of my kids. Like I've gotten like, I'll drink, but I don't even drink at home. Like my kids have never, but I never really saw. I'm not gonna say my mom is like. My mom is not she wasn't like no crackhead or nothing like that. Never that. She was a great mom. Yeah, my mom but she was just mentally abusive as fuck.
And that's just as bad as a fucking crackhead. If a motherfucker on,
you was gonna see her.
If a parent on drugs or alcoholism or struggling with that, that's damn near better than the emotional warfare. Yep. Because at least I know when my mom ain't here, she out there doing the line, or if my daddy ain't here, he out here. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Let me chime on that.
Go ahead, bro.
My mama wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So when I was born, my mama's mama was about to make them give me up for adoption. Mm. So somehow they got in contact with my grandma. Grandma got in contact with my daddy, and my grandma said she was at the hospital before my daddy was. Dang. So.
This when you was born?
Yeah.
Okay.
So mind you, never met her.
Mm-hmm.
Barely even. I saw doing some investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Found her on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, wouldn't find her. I found her husband on Facebook.
So you never met your OG?
I never met her.
Wow.
She can walk past me right now, and I probably wouldn't recognize her.
So did you ever have any like? Because I know, bro, you know you emotionally intelligent and you know what I'm saying. You've always had together, and I applaud you for that. I admire that. But like, has that ever played a part in you dealings with like women coming up, or even potentially being a father one day? Like, has that had any effect on you in that way?
Let me see. In regards to dealings with women,
Yeah, like relationships with women, like.
nah, because
Nah.
I've always just been extremely conscious of how
How
I
you
wanted
treat
to
them.
deal with women.
And why do you feel like where that came from? Because I grew up with manners too, but I was never taught manners.
Nah, it's not manners. It just was me being conscious of
Right.
what I
Except for
wanted
what-
to do with my life. So
Uh-huh.
one of the things that people miss when they say, "Oh, you were raised this way. I don't understand why you're acting like this."
Right.
You're acting like that because that's your personality. That's who you are. It don't matter how you were raised. Like you said, your mama had both parents in the house.
Right.
It don't matter how she was raised. How she chose to handle her kids was her own logical decision.
That's a good point.
You got, and that's kind of, and this is kind of off subject. But when they were saying, well, we need to stop punishing these parents for what these kids doing, I never agreed with that because these kids are making their own decisions. So in regards to like women or whatever the case may be, I looked at the world in my own through my own lens. That's why I never drunk. That's why I never smoked, because what I looked at, it just didn't look cool to me. I didn't, and me handling my life and trying to make sure that it's up to par going forward or whatever the case may be. As I became a teenager, I was conscious of this shit early. So as I became a teenager and all this other shit, I started to look at shit a certain way. Like, oh, women are supposed to be treated like this. So let me look at my surroundings and see what's working for everybody else. And if it's not working, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what makes sense. So that's why I always handle women a certain way. I never handle them in my biggest problem that I have with women, I don't allow them to do a lot for me. Because doing a lot as a kid, that creates expectations for you. When those expectations are not met, as a kid, you get down on yourself and like, damn, why I ain't getting that for Christmas? And then you come back from Christmas break and everybody like, hey, what you got? Well, you know what I started doing? I started going down the street to my best friend's house and I celebrated Christmas with him and his family. He had the remote control car. I just played with his shit. He got a new game. I played with his shit. So I learned a coping mechanism in regards to just how to handle life as a child without. I ain't saying I had the worst life. I wasn't out here starving and panhandling.
No.
You know, shit like
Yeah.
that. But these are small things that as a child, when you grow up and you come back from Christmas break and everybody's saying what they got their new shit on. And mind you, grandma did everything that she could.
Right.
She hit a lick. What was them shoes? What was them shoes you say you wanted? She coming up with that money for them
New
shoes.
Jordans, yeah.
I give me a couple pair of Jordans here and there. I'm good. Like
Right.
she got, especially when it counted.
Yeah.
Right before I started going to high school, 7th, 8th grade.
When it count.
Hey.
That's when it count. High school when it
I was
count.
at Marshalls for everything else. But I had a pair of Micah 2s on. But
Well, I get a pair of mics. I was grown.
But yeah, just to answer your question in regards to like women, but you did have, it was a 2-part question. I just ran off. But in regards to women, I always handle them with respect. Oh, my biggest issue with women, like I said, was just not allowing them to do much. So when birthdays come around, I don't want nothing. When Christmas come around, I don't want nothing. Now, mind you, I don't.
But what if someone cares enough about you to want to do something from you? Do you feel like they should be offended?
No, they shouldn't be offended. But people get offended.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a girlfriend, she gets offended.
Yeah.
Especially if you're dating somebody who's really feeling you, they get offended. So even if they, I was at a place where if somebody surprised me something, I make them take it back.
But I don't know, bro. I feel like, and there's no disrespect, I feel like that's not normal, though.
No, but I was going to say that.
I'm not trying to be mean, though.
You know that's not healthy.
Yeah, there you
Not
go,
even
healthy.
normal. That's not healthy.
I don't think that's healthy.
Well,
Because you deserve
But this
whatever
is the
motherfucker
thing.
want to do for you, bro.
It's
If I gave you $1 million right now, would you take it?
Yeah, that's $1
Well,
million.
$1,000.
That was a bad one.
$1,000.
If I was to give you a sweater, like,
Okay.
Let's start there.
Something you can't say no to is $1 million. You right.
Yeah, who the hell's gonna say no to that? But I don't think that that's healthy for you, just because you know, being in a relationship with a woman one day, you know, are you in a relationship now?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you allow her?
No.
Is that a problem for her, or is she okay with doing that?
See, okay. Before I answer that, let me say this.
Uh-huh.
My version of my gift is not getting me nothing. That all you have to do is give me exactly what I want for my birthday or Christmas. Nothing, and I'm happy. But that's what I want.
I feel you. I'm not saying it's wrong. I guess for me, like for myself, in a sense.
Do you give?
Yes.
Yeah, wise gift. I'm sure.
Because
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you like for your birthday. I'm always gonna take care of people. That's all I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
But because you want this for your birthday, you want this for your Christmas. I go all out to make sure you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I just don't. It just don't. It's just not.
It don't work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It don't make my toe shoot up in my boot.
And I've known that about bro since I've known him 10+ years. I was like, bro, don't celebrate his birthday. But I guess, like you said, on the flip side, y'all.
It just passed.
I know exactly. And what you do?
No.
Oh, yeah, Virgo.
I called you.
You're a Virgo.
I called him. I was like, bro, what's up? He said, just another day. I called him. I called you on your birthday.
It's not though. It's not just another.
Well, I'm gonna throw you a party, bro, and you gonna like it.
Right. We throw, hey, that nigga finna walk.
I won't be there. Look, have fun. I won't be there.
Hey, he gonna knock everything
he
out.
said,
Get this shit away
I'm
from
gonna like
me.
the pictures on Instagram. Hey, y'all went crazy, boy.
Wow.
Man, we went crazy. For your party, you went there. That's funny, bro.
You
But
gonna Photoshop yourself in the party.
that's funny. Bro got the skills, man. Wallace shot it. You know what I'm saying? That's true, man. I don't know, bro. I just think it's important, period, just and to bring it all together, to celebrate yourself, however that looks for you.
Yeah.
Feel me? So
Even if it's little by little.
I understand.
I'm
I understand.
celebrating. If you, all I care about is gratitude. If you're appreciative of something that I do, and you say, "Hey, man, I appreciate that," cool, I'm good. Or if you don't even have to say that. If I pour into you and I see what I poured into you, you're doing something with it. Oh, I'm good. Like I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like and that happens all the time. So yeah.
So I wanna ask you this, y'all. Like, cause I wanna stay within this realm. I feel like we getting good topic. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. And I know this is a dope ass episode, and I know this is dope ass content. So shame on you for not sharing it. Make sure you get this out here, man. These conversations need to be heard. They need to be talked about. They need to be addressed.
She might need to see it.
You feel me? And if you don't know, if you're an adult of age and you don't know how to tell your mama how you feel, just send her this video.
Right.
And hopefully she finds some answers, or father. You know what I'm saying? But moving along, I want to ask Ja, how has, well, I'm gonna ask 2 questions. And this first one is a yes or no. Do you feel that your mother is jealous of you as a woman?
Yes.
Okay. So my follow-up question would be that how has that affected you with raising your children? And the third part would be, how has those experiences with your mother affected you in actual relationships? I know that's a lot right there, right? But I guess you can start with, how did your mom's dynamic affect you? Your right? And then the second part was like your adult life, so separate from the kids. Like, what type of effects did that have?
It's affected me a lot. As far as with my kids, because they're my children, I've been able to handle that with care in my own little bubble, because they're my kids. So, you know, I'm very big on, you know, letting them know that they're like the baddest. You know what I'm saying? Letting them know, like, do you know who you are?
Speaking life into them.
Yeah, just like, do you know who you are type shit. And my whole thing is more so deeper, because my mom, she's very all about like beauty and like this. And it's like, for me with my kids, it's about showing them like life is, you could be a bad bitch and like it's not just looks. It's about how smart you are, how you walk into a room, how you talk to somebody, your energy, your aura. That's a bad bitch. And I really want to, I always let my kids know that it's more than just how you look. It's who you are as a person. Because, you know, again, my mom was all about like looks, being a bad bitch, do this, do that, your hair, your makeup, your this, your that. You know, and it was just like, I'm pretty fucking smart too. You know, I'm pretty fucking creative. Like I'm pretty fucking funny. Like I'm so many other things than just that. So I try to really highlight that when it comes to my daughters. So as far as the jealousy goes, like I want them to be the baddest around with everything. I want them to marry, you know, and live a very beautiful, abundant life. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be better than I ever fucking am any fucking day.
Facts.
So I mean, that would help me. Then they can take care of me.
Right? So how did it affect you in your relationships, like your traumas?
So with I'm going to start with my friendships with women. I have very big trust issues with women. Very big trust issues with women. I've had a lot of women do me, you know, just do me bogus. And I look at stuff like that and I just think my mom. I think like when women do certain things, I'd be like, gives me mom vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like reminds me like little shit like that. And it's just like I'm very cautious when it comes to the people that I allow in my circle. Yeah. Like even though you see me on Instagram and I post up and this, I'm a very private person.
I know you pussy.
Very private person. I allow you.
I believe it.
I allow you to know me so you can be like, I fuck with her, but not enough for you to be like, I can tell you about her. No, you can't.
That's a good way to put it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But you will not be let in if I don't allow you to. Right. So with women, I always the biggest thing that comes to my head sometimes is shit. If my mama can do me like that, anybody.
There you go, right there.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, my mom always just say that all the time. She always talked about jealousy because everybody was jealous of her and stuff like that. And it was like she always told me like, can't trust no bitches. You can't trust no bitches. These bitches don't give a fuck about you. Like and certain things might be right. You know what I'm saying? Two things can be true.
Yeah.
And you know, but I don't like it because, you know, I never really saw my mom have like my friend, like my daughters, they can name my friends. They could be like, oh, you know, that's Dana, that's Yoshi, that's Jackie. You know what I'm saying? Like they know my core friends, right? I really don't ever remember like my mom really having like girlfriend.
And you know why? Because they was fucked up people.
They was. So I'm like, I don't really remember.
Nobody want to be their friend.
I know mama beefing with women. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never remember like the girls coming to my house and, you know, I wake up and, you know, my mom's friends are slept over because they were drunk last night. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I don't like what my kids see. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's been very hard for me to build a culture with women because I never saw that. I never saw my mama have that core friend group where it's like I can call her friend and be like, my mom is tripping, bro. Like, can you get your friend? You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes I'd be a little bit sad because I'm like, damn, like I've always yearned for that so bad. Like I've always yearned for, and my friends can vouch for this. Like I'm the friend that likes to bring all my friends together. Like I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Right? Am I not like that, Jackie? I bring all my friends together because I want to have that community of friendships. These bitches
don't. You can always mix friends. I ain't gonna lie.
Bitches don't. I be trying though. Like I had one core little group for a little bit, and a bitch did some goofy shit. And it's like, damn, bitch, we could have been the girlfriends friends group. Like we could have gave that. But these bitches don't want to be that. So it's like a part of me is like I want to be like I'm so like thirsty. I've been so thirsty. Or I was so thirsty. Now I'm old. I don't give a fuck. I was so thirsty to always have like that core group because I didn't see it. But I always wanted those women that I could trust, that I could call, that my kids knew, because I didn't see that shit. So yes, it has affected me greatly because I don't trust women all the time, again, because I feel like shit, if my mom could put me down, if my mom could look at me like this, if the person that birthed me can feel this way about me, why the fuck can't another woman feel this way about me? If my own mom can be jealous of me, why can't other people be jealous of me? If my own mom can. So that's why it's like, you never really hear me talking online. I never be like, oh, because haters this. I don't talk like that. I don't talk about haters or stuff like that. But I think the reality of mine is like I don't want to, but like I'm tired of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this whole jealousy shit. I grew up with this shit.
Right.
Like, damn, bitch, like just be proud of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just love me for me. Like, I'ma always be down. I'ma always be there. But it's like, I don't know. It just like fucked my head up. Like, I don't know.
Damn. How do y'all deal with triggers? Because I think when we talk about things triggering me or that's triggering, sometimes we say it's because of what somebody else done, right? Based off an experience we went through outside of said person. Yeah. But because it reminds us of something traumatic that we went through, it is now a trigger, right? So how, for example, I don't like to be called nigga by women, right? I wouldn't necessarily call it a trigger. It's just like, I just don't want to be called a nigga. Like, don't call me that. That's like, to me, the equivalent of me calling a woman a bitch. If a woman calls me a nigga. Like, this nigga, especially from Chicago. Like, from Chicago, like, if a girl calling you a nigga from Chicago, she almost, like, disrespecting you.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Don't do that.
Hold on.
Because the thing is,
I'm giving y'all my trigger. Y'all triggering me.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
But you said no. It went general. You said
No, you're not. Go ahead. No, but yeah, you're right. No, but that's just a small example because like when you in a relationship, right? Especially one that means something, you don't want to trigger your partner. I would hope not. Like I'm not gonna purposely do some shit to piss you off.
And not to cut you off.
Go ahead, bro.
But the only time they go, if you're in a relationship and they call you nigga, y'all into it.
No, right?
Nigga, I told your ass.
Yeah. That has not ever happened to me though. She might have said some other shit, but she never called me nigga. But no, so like, it's important that if something triggers you, and I know this is a character flaw of mine or personality flaw. When something bothers me, I can't hide it, and I go into shutdown. And I be trying to work through that shit so bad, y'all. Yeah, but I be trying so bad. And what's crazy, it don't even be the big shit. It be the little, just something that makes me feel insignificant, and it throws me off. Yeah. And I be like, I dislike being that way. I guess that's kind of like a trigger, but because I no longer want to call my emotions being sensitive.
Wow.
Like, because that was my way of, if I'm sensitive, then as a man, I don't want to be called that, so I'm going to suppress that then next time. Instead of actually feeling how I feel or expressing how something made me feel, just because somebody called me sensitive, I don't care. I'm still telling you that shit. I'm still getting it out there. Because if I call you sensitive, bro, you sensitive as hell. That might fucking offend you. Bro, you the anomaly. This is why we cool. This is why you my brother.
I hate the word sensitive though. It's like that word sensitive it does trigger me sometimes. I'm not sensitive. I wanna say what the fuck I wanna say.
And I think it's a superpower to be able to feel. Right. Because when you right, exactly. So when you go into a shutdown mode, them of us mad.
Right.
So you would much rather me be sensitive, trust me.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead, bro.
When y'all shut down because of a spike in y'all sensitivity because of something somebody said or might have done, maybe unconsciously, maybe consciously on purpose, you know what I mean? What do you do to like communicate with the person like, yo, that shit wasn't right? Is it a snap off like, motherfucker, I told you to put the damn seat down or whatever it is?
No, you know what? Actually, no. I'm the opposite. I actually just went through this. My friend, one of me and my very close friends of like 10 years. No, more than that. Probably like 13 years. She was here from out of town, and we kind of like got into it already a little bit, and we've been knowing she's older than me, so we've known each other from when I was a hot ass 25-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? So when we got into it, she triggered me a little bit because I remember when I was young and she was older than me and she would try to reprimand me in a way. Okay. So now I felt like she had done the same thing, but now I'm grown. Now I'm grown. I'm on my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. But for that moment, when she was in the car and she was yelling and she was doing all these things, I completely shut the fuck down. I'm talking about I didn't say a fucking word. And the reason why I didn't say a word is because the old me will go back and forth. Like, so let me show you why, whatever. But I didn't. I shut down, and I really I didn't talk to her for a month. literally we just started talking maybe a week ago.
Wow.
And we still haven't even talked about it completely yet. You know what I'm saying? But she had apologized the day after that had happened. But I just wasn't in that zone to speak yet. And I think with me, I shut down because I know now at my big age that if I speak at that moment, we're never going to be friends again.
Yeah.
Because you hurt my feelings, you disrespected me, and it's like I'll warn somebody too. I'll warn you. I'll let you know, like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill out. And then if you keep going with me, it's like now I'm going to shut it the fuck down. But the scary part about me that I need to learn how to work on is that sometimes I let a motherfucker go forever.
Yeah.
And that's the part of me that I don't like, because I've lost a lot of friendships that maybe weren't that deep. It wasn't that deep, but to me at that moment, it was that deep. And guess what? Now a month passed, I don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's something I'm working on right now, is that I know I've lost a lot of friendships. I probably lost some good niggas. Respectfully. I probably lost some good men.
Don't get mad,
you know what I'm saying? Right, don't get mad. Hold on. I probably lost some good people because at that moment I didn't want to talk through it because I was scared of myself.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. That was a big step for me to even call her back, because a part of me was like, I'll never talk to this bitch again. Fuck her. But then a part of me was like, no, I love her. Like, I cannot lose her over that shit.
Yeah.
I just need to let her know that it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And for her to understand it. But the thing that scares me something about people is that they don't understand it.
They don't.
And they'll let shit go. And they'll be like, well, I mean, well, you did this. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you what the fuck is going on and what I feel. Like, listen. So now I'm mad again.
Right. So this is so you display actually two big ass steps of maturity. One, being able to shut down and not go the fuck off is a sign of maturity.
Absolutely.
Two,
Go child.
following up and say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
Regardless of which you offended me, and you know you offended me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna call you anyway.
Yeah.
Because I love you and I want to try to figure this out.
Love her to death.
You know what I mean? But also you have to remember your feelings are not fact all the time.
That's true.
Just because you feel that way does not mean
100%.
that that's the reality of the situation. So sometimes people, and they kind of go back to me, you know, the reason why I asked what y'all do when, you know, somebody hits you with a sensitive, I'm going to tell you what I do.
I'll answer after you.
When somebody hit me with some shit that I might be sensitive about. Or whatever the case may be.
Well, I got an air quote sensitive. It's okay to be sensitive,
I
bro.
don't really get sensitive about shit. I'm just being completely honest.
You flawless emotional man.
I'm just really,
Superman, goddammit.
I'm just logical to a fault. Like
That's very Virgo, though.
I will fall on the sword
Virgos have no
if it
emotions
logically makes
at all.
sense. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll fall on
another
the sword
episode of
myself.
astrology.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I get what
you
you're
know
saying.
what? That makes sense. All right, cool. So when somebody do some low sensitive shit to me, I'm asking questions. Hey, what the fuck make you think that? What, you think that makes sense to you? Help me understand what your point is and why you said that. If you say if I'm sensitive about, hey, but you know we had a conversation about that the other day, and if you don't want to hear my conversation, now we're at a place where we do not agree. If we're at a place where we do not agree, and you continue to push that sensitive button, then you don't respect me. If you don't respect me, we don't even need to have conversations no more.
Facts.
So, and that's how you truly eliminate the person without no Hey, I did what I could.
Yeah.
See, and that's with me. The people that I got rid of in my life, I gave you the opportunity to fix this.
Yep.
I never allow somebody that I want in my life or care to be in my life or who I feel like they care to be in my life because they probably benefit from me or whatever the case may be. I give them grace and say, hey, let me ask these couple questions first before I dead your ass. Then after that, you don't exist to me. I mean, I see you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not sad at you. I'm not glad at you. I'm not nothing.
Oh God, I really have no emotion. Like
Yeah,
it is.
it's turned off the
But
switch.
you want to do it with like you kind of think back like, damn, should I let that relationship go? I don't have that because I did a couple of steps in between that, and I would let those relationships go because they made it clear to me that they don't belong in my space.
But you know what? Ain't a motherfucker that I let go that I truly regret. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm just. It's for me.
I second that.
For me, it's just the simple part of. It's just the simple part of like, I hate letting go of people sometimes because it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be that girl where it's like, okay, wait, real quick. I'm the type of person like I don't like. You know how some people are friends, they have friends, right? And they'd be like, oh, you know, I've been friends with this person for so many years and stuff like that. And it's like, I guess people think it's like so cool to be like, oh, I've had friends for like 20 years. And it's like, this ain't motherfucker done did you bogus so many fucking times. And it's like, I'm just not that girl. So if people talk about me and be like, oh, she always got, you know, she's letting people go or she ain't, you know, I ain't seen her with them. It's just because I don't really take shit from nobody.
Right. Yeah.
No one's going to come into my life and disrupt my shit and make me feel some type of way. You get the fuck on.
If my mama don't get a pass, what the fuck makes you
The
think you
hell,
get
the fuck?
It's a second that. Guess what? I'm no longer in that chapter of my life where I'm letting shit fly.
No.
I'm in the chapter now where you gonna get in line or get behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna move on because I'm not in a space to invest in it emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm not in a space to make me feel a way. And the people who have now in this new chapter of my life understand that. So I don't have no reason to invite anybody back or even bring in somebody new that's not with the program of respecting me.
I know my worth, bitch.
Exactly. And I think women may have arrived to that point a lot sooner than men, per se. Not saying we have or haven't, but so to me,
Y'all man
to answer.
Y'all man let y'all niggas fly with anything.
Hold on.
Y'all man love
Hold
y'all
on.
friends to the
Hold on.
core. And they be like, that man was in my DMs.
You wrong. You wrong. I'm standing. Let me tell you something. I'm
Y'all
10.
don't even let your barbers go.
Hold on. I'm 10 toes down, and my barber a woman. My barber a woman too. I ain't never let her
Don't
go.
you ever put don't you ever put my woman up on the level of my
Right, because that's hey, shout out to Tasha.
I'm cheating on her way before I'm cheating on my mom.
Hold on. That loyalty hit different with the barbers. But look, I want to respectfully disagree with you, Ja,
Okay.
when it comes to men standing 10 toes with their homies and shit. Nah. I am not the type of homie that you can do me any type of way, talk crazy to me. I find out factual shit about me, shit that you said about me for whatever reason, and I'm still gonna be like, "What's up, bro?" and kick the Boskies with you. No, like Wallace said, I don't hate you, I don't like you, I don't nothing you, but I ain't fucking with you no more.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely that type of homie that you might even hear now or any of y'all. What's going on with Visa? What's up with him? Why he woo woo woo? Trust me, 100 times out of 100. They did some fucked up shit to me. And I know people try to act like they shit don't stink and all that. I know I ain't no fucked up friend. Never have been. I've never been the type of motherfucker that just do people wrong. I had people, hey, block this person for me. I don't know nothing about nothing, but that's because I'm loyal to you. I got you, no problem. And when it was time to reciprocate that, I didn't get that same respect.
But how do you know you never been a fucked up friend?
Because I've never been told that.
Right. That don't mean.
And I've never done anything fucked up to nobody.
I mean, that could
But
be that.
that could be
Talk about talk about it.
unconsciously too, though.
Talk about it.
Because the same
I don't
way,
feel I
let's
did
go back-
nobody
your
wrong.
needs might not be somebody else's needs.
It's not about my needs.
I'm saying like what someone wants out of a friend might not be what you think they want as a friend.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's something that I've questioned myself too, because I think I'm this perfect fucking person. I think I'm a great fucking
I ain't trying to say I'm perfect.
No, I'm not perfect, but you know what I mean. Like
I'm a loyal friend.
And I think the same way too. But I think that, you know, again, everybody's searching for different things. So it's like, I think everybody's kind of been, I don't know, a type of friend to somebody some way in their life. It's just a normal thing. You might not think that, but if we call 100 people, maybe 2 of them might be like, I didn't fuck with him because of this situation.
I called V 3 times for a ride and he didn't even answer the phone.
Exactly.
You might not even be aware that they even called
Yup.
you on that day.
Facts.
But they acting funny with you because they feel
Yup.
like, yo, this nigga bogus as hell because I called him 3 times that day. He
Yup.
didn't even answer the phone. Now they getting distance from you.
Yup.
Now they doing weird shit or whatever the case may be. But technically you didn't do nothing. But in their mind, you did. So that's why I say you kind of got to be, if the person holds a little bit of value, you kind of got to be a little bit conscious of what could they be assuming that I did? Because I know for a fact I haven't done nothing. But let me see.
I want to know.
What they
Okay,
I'm
so-
interested in knowing.
That's facts.
And if it don't make sense to me, logically,
Then you gotta go.
And I hear y'all and I respect y'all POVs and I'm not saying they incorrect, but I just know me. I know how I've moved with people in my life. I just know.
Right. You know you.
No, listen, and I've been tested, or I've heard things from people say this is our friend group.
Yeah.
And only us know what's going on in this friend group.
Yeah.
So now, should nobody know what's going on between us three but us three? But when the fourth person is involved, somebody done ran their mouth about something.
Right.
What I'm saying is, I've never been that person.
Right.
In the dynamic is what I'm saying.
Right.
I've never been that person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just, it's subjective, obviously.
So quick question.
Go ahead.
Do you get rid of the friend group, or do you find out who actually was the one telling your business to that fourth person?
For me, I just cut everybody off.
See, that's
horrible.
not healthy.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about a healthy way. Let's talk about a healthy way.
Because now
it's still recording. Oh, okay.
Because now you're punishing people who had nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm listening. I am here to listen.
You take your presence away from somebody, that's punishment to them, because they wanted you to be in their lives a certain kind of way. So when you disappear, they feel it.
Okay.
But that's your goal, though.
Cool. So we're talking about just for that example.
Yeah.
If I was always available, readily there, answer every phone call, every time you need a bag of chips or Frito-Lays, I'm there.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
How can you then what's your excuse? Then what's your argument?
What's my excuse? You cut me off because somebody in the friend group who I'm not aware of did something or said something outside to someone outside of this friend group who came back to you and said something. So when you went and said, look, I only talked to these 5 people, one of them had to do it. Even though I'm in the friend group, 1 out of the 5 probably said something, and then the other 4 has to deal with the wrath of you because somebody fucked up and it wasn't me.
I didn't say that. I also just pay attention too. Like, cause words motherfucking talk you to death.
Yeah.
But their actions ain't gonna lie. So I've become very observant in that as well. That's why I'm convicted in what I'm saying, is because I've observed things. Even when the opportunity was there to speak on said situation. When the time came to say, hold on, this is my homie Wallace. You can't discuss him like that. Let me get in touch with Wallace. It's no, I'm gonna sit there and find out everything that I can find out, because that's what I want. You know, I'm not going to defend.
So is the opportunity presented to all 5 people in the friend group, or is it just
Absolutely? It's everybody's aware of what's going on. Everybody's aware of what's going on. So when you are in an observing phase, like I've been, you see when people pick their side. That's just something that you have to accept. Once a person has, or people have selected their side, meaning the ideals they accept, just like in the politics, you choose red or blue, right? When you choose your side, you've chosen your side based on the information that's been presented to you, therefore creating the belief in said information. So you believe that information, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be on that side.
Right. So, with that being said, that means you investigated the information.
Correct.
With all parties involved.
Yes, like you said, feelings are not facts.
But that's different from what
I operate on facts. Go ahead.
What I initially asked you is, would you cut everybody off because you don't know who the mole is? Like, you know what I mean?
With that example, yes, I have and will.
And that's unhealthy.
Why is it unhealthy?
Because you're not investigating to figure out to get to the bottom.
You're in your emotions, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm in my emotions,
You are.
okay, I'm in my feelings. Why, if say a group of people, no one has said anything to me? So it's now my job to go further investigate.
Now we're going to a whole different thing, though.
We're not, because y'all say all the responsibility is on me to fix said issue.
No, what we're saying is that what I'm saying is that how I'm seeing this, like, that right there is an emotional action, right? Because
What is?
You having a friend group.
Creating distance?
Creating from everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't do shit to you, and I love you. I care about you. You my motherfucking friend, and you just gonna disappear on me like that? How the fuck you think I feel?
So if you the friend, do you call that person?
I mean, at this point, I don't know. You're the one that got a problem with me.
I ain't got no problem with you. What I'm saying is, you just said
you do.
Hold on, you just said you love me as your friend. I care about you. So why would you reach out to somebody you care about?
At the same time, it's like I'm also giving you your space. I'm also trying to figure out, like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what's going on. It's up to you to be like he said, investigate. Talk to me about it. Let me know. Don't just let me go after all the stuff that we put in. Like, what type of, like, that's not a friendship to me. You was never really my friend if you're so easily ready to let me go. Is you really my friend like that? Is you really my friend enough where you can't even ask me, did you say it? If you my friend enough where you could be like, okay, well, I mean, let's talk about this. Was you even really my friend?
Mm-hmm.
That's the now I got a problem with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now I'm questioning our friendship.
Uh-huh.
I'm questioning you acting real sneaky now. I don't trust you
I'm
now.
laughing, y'all, because I'm thinking about.
How Reggie know I fucked the fat bitch?
No.
Nobody told me. How Reggie know? Reggie wasn't with us in the car that day. It was only me, you, and you.
I'm laughing because the things that y'all talking
Hold
about,
on, the fact
the
that
healthy
you're
way.
friends.
Look, I'm laughing because the healthy way that y'all talk about going through,
I didn't tell you.
doing that stuff, I've done it. That's how I arrived to the point that I arrived to.
Okay,
when
fuck it. Throw the whole friendship. Throw all the motherfuckers away. Fuck them.
Because he's just saying,
hey.
regardless of which, everybody gone.
Be careful. He's done.
That's it. That's just how I feel. Like
Period.
I've arrived to that point in the chapter in my life that people that's fuck with me, fuck with me.
Investigating. I'm coming to the end. Who did
Yeah,
it?
but I don't care to hear excuses or lies. People
You
lie.
don't know if it's an excuse.
That's-
you know?
Somebody might have
People
a
lie.
logical.
People lie.
Somebody might have
People
a
lie.
logical.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Reason for. Oh shit! You know, man, what you call who's in the car? We was talking on speakerphone, and dude just so happened to be walking up and standing there or standing behind us, or we was at the game. Sometimes there's logical reasons for certain shit,
And not only that,
and people make mistakes.
let's say if he
they do.
said something,
How many times you?
and I know, hold on, and I know about it, right, or whatever. This between y'all two. I'm not getting in the fucking business. I'm telling you right now. Y'all need to figure
Friends
that shit
do.
out.
Friends do
I'm not going to get in the middle of it. I've done that a plethora of times where I know some shit
Ooh.
and I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
$1,000 word, plethora.
Plethora.
Is it plethora or plethora? Oh my God,
Plethora.
delete that fucking
Plethora.
scene.
Plethora. But we got you here on the humble.
It's a little bit of both. We can't take
It said
we
plethora
can't take
sounds way
beats.
better. Plethora sounds better than me.
Hold on, y'all. I've came a long way with my enunciation because I used to struggle. Okay, those are words and shit I used to really man.
You say Pythagorean theorem?
What's the word I could? Toxicity. I still struggle with that word. I struggled with that word.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Toxicity.
Bruh, I struggled with that word
So
back in
yeah,
the day.
I'm minding my business. I'm that friend. I'm the mind my business friend. When it comes out, I'm be like, damn,
and it's
it
a
was
lot of
said. I
people-
didn't know about it.
And there's a lot of people
I
in
knew
the,
the whole
it's people who in their friend groups that
I don't
are
like
like,
drama.
I don't want to get in the middle of this. Y'all should work this out.
Right.
Granted, That friend that doesn't want to get in the middle doesn't necessarily have to say, look, this is what's going on, but they can be like, look, I want to kind of bridge this. I need to talk.
Right.
I would do that.
Put on the big T-shirt
But
and hug.
I'm not telling your business to him. And I'm just not doing
Exactly.
y'all do that together. But I'm gonna tell y'all need to dead this shit right now because this shit's stupid. And
Right.
it's whack.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like get in the middle of it. I'm not. That's stress for me. I didn't have nothing to do with this shit. I didn't fuck the fat bitch.
Exactly. And this ain't gonna be the last one.
And it,
It wasn't the first, and it ain't gonna be the last.
I ain't fucked the bitch. God damn.
Thank y'all. Yeah. So, with all things considered, I still feel the way I feel.
Yeah, man, make that call.
Respectfully.
Make that call. man.
Respectfully. No, sis. Because I want my humble family to understand, like, I'm not a difficult
Hey,
individual.
down in the comments, is he wrong for getting rid of the whole friend group?
Yeah, we would
'Cause
like to
one,
know actually.
Yeah, let me know.
I would
Let me
like to
know.
in the comments.
Cause I want to know. But hey, if I am wrong, guess what? I'm not allergic to being accountable. I pride myself on being accountable.
So you'll be okay with being like, you know what, shit, I fucked up.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's
Absolutely.
odd that you say that because
Absolutely.
it's been a couple of times during this podcast where you were like, I choose not to be accountable.
Run the tape back. I've never said
You
that.
didn't say that, but your actions were it's saying it's
Uh-huh.
choosing not to be accountable.
He's not wrong.
Hmm.
But you're not right.
Part of being a host, you guys, is being able to accept what your guests are saying.
Fuck a host. Part of being a man. Part of being an adult. Part of
a
being a grown
human.
man. Yeah.
Shit.
Part of being a human.
So y'all think I'm not accountable?
There's been a couple of things that you mentioned that you weren't.
Uh-huh.
Didn't,
Oh,
that
okay.
you were standing on your heel, but not
Like being
accountable.
stubborn and shit.
Yeah.
I'm still a work in progress. Still growing.
100% best
You
good
feel?
friend.
I just don't. I think,
I
it's
did
hard,
say
I think
that.
it's hard for stubborn and accountability sometimes to live in the same home.
I don't think they can.
I feel like they are fighting for their lives every day.
One thing about
Pride and ego.
One
Yeah.
thing about stubborn and accountability. Even if a motherfucker is accountable, a stubborn motherfucker ain't gonna admit it.
At all. They could be dead wrong and be like, I ain't wrong. Like, yeah, you are.
Damn, but who determines what's right or wrong?
We do. We do.
I think that's what, and I was just saying for the floor, because, like, when you having a conversation, like what you say to somebody, you can't control how they feel and how they take, because perception is reality. You know what I'm saying?
But
Perception is everything.
You can control what you meant by what you did or said to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they take it a certain way, you can control and say, look, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
You can take your accountability and say, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. But
Right.
this is what I meant by that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you're sensitive about this or whatever the case may be, and you and your feelings about it. But because you assume that I meant something else. But that's not fact. This is what I meant by that.
Right.
And that's it right there.
Yeah.
From there, you should never see that issue come up again from that particular person, because y'all addressed it, y'all worked it out in the perfect world, you know. And that goes for friendships and relationships.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just want to. I think the problem with everybody is that everybody wants to be heard so
Yes.
bad. Like everybody wants to be heard, that it's hard sometimes to understand.
Yes.
Because you're just constantly trying to fight for yourself all the time. You're like
Yeah.
your own fucking lawyer every day and night,
Yep.
day and night. That it's like, I need you to see where I'm coming from, but it's like the other person's like, well, I need you to see where I'm coming from.
Right.
So nobody sees where nobody's coming from. So my thing is like, what do you think that we can do better where we can maybe, because it's very easy to be like, well, just listen.
Yeah, just
you know what I'm
listen.
saying? But it's like, where can we kind of like meet where it's like, I hear you, but I know you hear me too. So like, where's that balance?
Communication is worthless without comprehension.
Yep.
And a compromise too.
Yeah, comprehension, compromise. 'Cause see, it starts with the compromise to say, look, I'm gonna let me hear you out. I know you pissed at me because I said whatever, but let me hear you out. I mean, but just hear me out. This is, and it goes back to what I just said. This is what I meant by this. Now you can accept it or not. If you don't accept it, then fine. Where are we now with our relationship? But hopefully you accept this along with my apology for me being accountable about pissing you off. But some people can't apologize about making somebody feel away because they know what their intentions are.
Yep.
So they're like, no, I'm not apologizing for that. I ain't do nothing wrong. But if you made somebody feel a certain kind of way about something you said or did, something wrong happened. Period.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you purposely did it or not. So if you value the relationship with that particular person, then you're gonna say, look, this is what I meant by this. I never do it again because I see how you take that now. I apologize for making you feel that way. And then hopefully the other person say, you know what? All right, cool. I'm over it because they actually feel like you did not have any malice in what you did.
Yep. One big thing that I'm doing now, or I've been doing it for a couple years now, is I put myself in people's shoes. I'm very big on that. I'm very big on if I'm having like an argument or something like that, I'll take a second and I'll think it through. I'll be like, okay, how would I feel if I did that to that person?
Yeah.
And that really like completely switched my whole train of thought. Even with my mom, with my kids, I do the same things. I'd be like, damn, like if I did that or if I said that, how would that person feel? And I think that people don't do that enough. Is put yourself in people's shoes in that moment. Really take the conversation, take what you've done or what's going on, and see how you would react if it was you. So I think that that's a really big thing. And I know that everybody has different things, but I'm just saying it'll kind of make you think a little bit like, damn, that was kind of fucked up. I generally, no matter what, I wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah.
Or shit, I wouldn't have really gave a fuck. And that's kind of how I judge my shit. I'd be like, if it wasn't that deep, I'd be like, even though that could be subjective too, but at the same time, we kind of morally know right and wrong, yes and no. Like, we're not dumb. So, I don't know, putting myself in situations, even with my mom, going back to my mom and going back to mothers and shit like that. From what my mom told me about her childhood, she lived this great fucking childhood. She lived an amazing childhood, no flaws, perfect mom, perfect dad. So I'm like putting myself in her situation, in her shoes, and I'm like, damn, I would be a fucking great mom then.
Right.
You know, I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So it's like, now I'm like, no, you dead wrong, mom.
Yeah.
Because I put myself in your shoes, and you lived a great life, a life that I wish I would have lived. With seeing a dad and a mom, like, you were good, so no, you're wrong. You know what I mean? So putting myself in situations, putting myself in people's shoes has really helped me decipher different things.
And I think a good question for her would be, what would make you choose, if your life was this way growing up, what would make you choose to raise me like this if you were raised like this?
I don't get it.
What in you made that particular choice for yourself? So, because what you're telling me is not your upbringing.
It's not.
It's what you chose to do.
Yeah, and that is what I was saying earlier about how I was growing up too, and how I didn't have to be treated that way. You feel me? Especially when you're that firstborn. But again, what I've learned today, guys, putting the bow on all this, I still got some healing to do.
Yeah,
and I'm okay
don't
with
we
that.
all?
We all have healing.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we're always gonna have healing to do. Healing is never going to stop. There's gonna be something that could happen. You could have a fucking traumatic experience that's gonna happen today.
Yeah.
And you now have to heal from that many years.
Yeah.
70% of people in the world have traumatic experience. 5.6% of people have PTSD from those traumatic experiences. So we're learning that people are getting through it, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
70% of the world, that's a lot.
That's a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot. So you only gonna get a good 30% that's gonna be like, oh, nothing ever happened to me. But even still, that shit don't even sound right.
Right. Yeah.
You're right. Wallace, you got anything else you want to say?
Oh, is this the wrap up?
We're wrapping it up.
We brought you by Dunkin' Donuts.
No, it ain't.
Right,
The
not
hell-
yet.
No, the hell it
Hey,
ain't.
sometimes
He
you
made
gotta
that from
wish
home.
it into existence, y'all. Everybody spam Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah, no, for real.
For that
Well,
coffee is fuck the coffee.
to wrap up.
No
I just
Diddy.
want to give a bit of advice for the people.
Go
For the
ahead.
people
I
out
got some
there.
advice too.
Okay.
One thing that y'all sat back and listened to us talk about was how our parents handle us and the things that we got from what they did when they handled us. One of the things that we do have to make sure that we do is just show appreciation to the parents, even with the fucked up shit that they did. Because the fucked up shit created the characters that we are now. The fucked up shit made you a better probably a better mother to your kids, and you a better father to yours. So appreciate the shit that they gave you. Appreciate the those punches, those black eyes, and all that other shit, because now you know how to dodge. Now you know how to block. You know what I mean? So now, in my situation, I appreciate the fact that people don't have to step up for you, but they do because they actually want to. So your parents don't have to love you. There's a misconception that parents supposed to or have to love you when you come out of the womb. They have to raise you when you come, but they don't have to.
No, they don't.
They don't. That's a choice.
That's a choice, yeah.
That's a choice. Some parents still feel like it's not, but it's plenty of parents that clearly show you that it is. It's a choice. So appreciate the ones who do love you. Appreciate the ones who do put in that effort for you, who pat you on your back, who took your hand and raised you. Like, we ain't even talked about the grandmas, because the grandmas.
My grandma can do no fucking wrong. Okay?
There you go right there.
Cha.
There you go, because the grandmas is the ones who
That lady don't do.
was
That lady's
who
a
was
saint.
who was
in
who
my
was
Mine
stepping
too.
up. Yeah.
Mine
So
too.
shit.
Rest in peace.
I just told y'all, Grams came to the hospital. Hey, no, I got it.
Let me get
Don't
him.
even
Let
worry
me
about
get
it.
him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't know none of my family on my mama's side. I just know my family on my daddy's side. So just appreciate the ones that step up for you, and appreciate the ones who don't.
Yeah.
Gang shit. Fuck all that lame shit.
For me, I think, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff, and I'm learning how to take accountability with a lot of things that I've been through. And my biggest advice that I think in this journey that have popped up numerous fucking times is that it's okay if you've been hurt. It's okay if you've been through stuff. It's not embarrassing. It happens. That's why I love this conversation, because it shows another light of motherfuckers go through shit too. And, it's okay to fix your life and become the person that you want to be. You don't, just because shit happened to you doesn't mean that leads the way to the person that you think you should be. No, you can become exactly, you want to be a good mom, be it.
Yep.
You want to be a good dad, be it. Don't let the excuses of your parents not showing up the way you wanted them to show up to create the person that ultimately you don't want to be. So really, I really want people to start taking accountability for the shit that they are doing versus what their parents might have done to them. I've learned a long time ago to let go of what the fuck my mom has done to me. Fine, I don't give a fuck. You gotta live with that shit every fucking day. When you die, you gotta take that shit up with God, not me.
Right.
All I can do right now is provide and do and be the best person that I can for the people that I am now growing up, that I am now teaching how to grow up and be the right type of people. So it's never too late to become who you want to become, and just take accountability. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, this is not right. And don't be embarrassed about it. Don't try to brush that shit under the rug. It's happening, and it ain't gonna get no better unless you really, really fight fucking back. Yeah. So, you know, I just want people just to like, just you can be who you want to be. You don't got, your past does not have to be your future. You don't got to be like your mama. You don't got to be like your daddy. You can really create a whole new dynamic and a whole new family and a whole new tradition. You know, my mama used to be mad at me because of stupid traditions she used to do. I don't want to fucking do that. Right. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I won't. But it used to drag me to the floor, and I used to be like, damn, am I a bad mom because I don't do this? No, I'm not a bad mom. These are my traditions. This is what I want to do with my kids. And that's fine. As long as they're happy, that's all that matters.
Cool.
Beast?
We are not here as victims. I want to be very clear about that.
Okay.
That victim.
Okay.
We are not here projecting our insecurities. We're not here to point the fingers. What we have done is shared experiences that has led us to a point of healing and arrived us into a space where we can actually say it out loud and not suppress it. So hopefully you guys listen to what we said, share the content, and hopefully it helps somebody, because there's going to be more of this on the Humble Pie podcast. I mean, we are not victims, guys. So stay tapped in with us. Stay loyal. We appreciate the support. It's been amazing talking with y'all. So I appreciate y'all time. Till next time, man. Stay blessed, man.
Oh my God.